I found this scrap piece of maple lying around the body shop at work and decided I'd try to make something with it. I had to start out by jointing one face and one edge on the joiner and then running it through the planer to clean the piece up. I then took it to the table saw to remove the last rough edge and my panel sled to square up the two ends. I roughly marked out the dimensions for the mallet on the board to make sure that I was going to have enough material to be able to make it. I ripped the handle off of the board first and then ripped the rest of the board to width for the actual pieces for the head. I set up a stop block on my miter saw and cut all the mallet head pieces to length. With the cutoff sled set at about a 2-degree angle, I cut the two innermost pieces of the mallet head to accept the handle and the wedges. I glued up the mallet head, leaving a 3/4 inch space at the bottom of the two innermost pieces that would later accept the handle. Once I pulled it out of the clamps, I took it back to the table saw and squared up the bottom. I then cut the two ends of the mallet head at about a 2-degree angle on my miter saw. I made the slot in the bottom of the head 3/4 inch wide and the mallet is 1 inch wide, and since I don't currently own a tenoning jig, I made this homemade version using scrap plywood. I took light passes on each side, sneaking up on the cut until I could get a perfect fit. Once I got the proper fit, I raised the blade to full height and finished cutting the tenon. Next, I cut the splines in the handle that would hold the wedges to eventually hold the handle in place. I glued the handle to the head along with the wedges and tapped them in a little at a time until it was a nice snug fit. To give the mallet head a little better look, I drew a small arc on the top, and using my bandsaw, I cut out the shape and then took it to the spindle sander for the final shaping and to smooth out the cuts from the bandsaw. I rounded over all the sharp edges by hand just using some 180 grit sandpaper. To clean off any dust left on the mallet before finishing, I just use a little bit of mineral spirits on a rag. I wiped on 2 coats of tung oil finish on the mallet, and this was my first time using this type of finish, and I really liked the way it looked. So this was my first time making a mallet. I actually referenced Steve Ramsey's build quite a bit. I used the same method of joining the handle to the head as he did, using the wedges on the top, and I really like the way the oak wedges give a nice contrast to the top. There are a few things I'd probably do different if I were to make another one, and I already want to make another one, but I make the handle a little bit wider and probably give it a little more shape, and maybe make the tenon where it actually sticks out from the top. I think that sort of gives a cool look, but it's one of those things where you really don't know how you want to make one until you actually make one the first time, I think, because it sort of gives you a good idea of what you want and how you want to make it. They're actually quite a lot of fun to make. If you haven't subscribed already, we'd love for you to do so. We try to post a new project video every weekend. There'll be links in the description down below to all the social media sites that we're a part of, as well as our website at lanebrotherswoodshop.com. I'm actually going to have a t-shirt giveaway pretty soon coming up on Instagram, so you guys may want to check that out. That's all I got for you this week, guys. Happy trails. Thanks for watching.